Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again. Episode number 14 of the Chop Shop Podcast. As always, it's your boy TK, joined by my co host, Mr. Jermaine JP Powell. Bruh,
What's
what's
up,
up?
man?
Well, listen. So last week's episode, we kicked things off with a little cool in the game celebration. You know, we should have queued up the Undertaker's entrance music to the ring the way we got buried
Oh my
this past
gosh.
weekend, bro.
Yeah, that was rough. Rough.
Listen, man, rough is an understatement, and a lot of people go already agree with that, but once we get to talking about it and breaking it down, they gonna really realize how bad it was, like horrible. But before we get into that, man, we gonna kick things off. Talking about the moves that was made this past week. We had a lot of movement, dog.
Yep, a lot of movement.
Some was expected because hell, we talked about it weeks ago.
Hmm.
Speculated about it, and then others, was moves based off of just pure necessity. But of course, everybody know by now, Ian Anderson has been optioned to AAA Gwinnett. Um, it
we actually talked about that. Maybe episode 12. I think it was back back as 12. We was like maybe a change of scenery. We don't want him to go down there for the rest of the season because I think he can still help us. If you look what
oh
he
yeah,
did last year in the Dodger series, he was big in those series in the World Series. So sometimes it's just a change of scenery, change of pace. So I expect to see him back in the rotation, but it was necessary, man. He had to go down there.
yes. I mean, listen, man, without a doubt. And we'll talk more about him because he's actually a part of our buy or sell
Right.
segment this week. But yeah, man, he had to, he had his struggles, and you know, what I wish we was wrong about it. I wish because he had 2 starts ago. He had that huge start where he went 7 2/3, 8 innings or whatever it was, gave him 2 runs, and he looked every bit of
He
World
did.
Series Ian that we saw last year. But
He did.
that was kind of an anomaly, dog. When you look at his season in totality, man. So it was a necessary thing. But I read an interesting quote. Well, it wasn't interesting. It was actually the truth from Snick himself,
Hmm.
and basically, they asked him about him going to the minors, and Snick basically came out and said, and I quote, "We need to get him right. We need him. He's a big
Yep.
part of what we've got going on. This happens. Hopefully, he can take a step back, reassess things, and get himself going."
Right.
And that's pretty much what we, said weeks ago.
Yep.
Like, it's not because he's just a terrible pitcher or, all of that. It was just one of those things where, bro, he needed a chance to breathe and collect himself and pull his shit together, basically. And that's what Snick said without saying, what I just said. But
Right.
it's one of those things, man. It's not like we hadn't seen it before. Like, look at last year,
Yeah.
right? AJ Minter, sent him
Yeah.
down,
Same thing. You're right.
same thing, but he came back and did his thing.
Yeah. He
So
was better
so
than ever.
yeah, so it's you know it's one of them things. Uh, but we'll see how it go, man. Um, Other moves we had, and this is due to the trades, pickups and all of that. But cheerleader Guillermo, he got he. I don't even remember the last time he played, man. But Heredia,
He
he
actually
was
got
optioned
in
to AAA Gwinnett.
the Phillies series. I think he had two at bats.
Okay, well, I mean, it be so sporadic, man. And don't get me wrong, you need that locker room glue guy.
Yeah,
Uh, but at the same time, we need all 40 to be able to
yeah,
contribute because the Mets not gonna Met, dog.
no,
The, they are legit.
yeah.
Whether
And we mentioned that a
people
couple of episodes
we
ago,
talked
man.
about that weeks ago.
Yeah, this is a different Mets team. Anybody expecting them to crumble like they did last year, it's not gonna happen.
It's not
We're gonna have to take it like they did. Actually, in the offseason, the Mets got better.
a
They
lot
made
better.
some smart moves. You got DeGrom coming back when shoot, he looks freaking unhittable. Then you got Matt, Scherzer that's over there. So I mean, Jesus. I mean, this is not the same Mets team, but Braves country now, hear me out. We're just as good as them, believe it or not. I mean, we just got to get it together. I don't know what the deal is this year with it, And I sent you the other day an interesting quote that Spencer Strider that he said. I'm sure it's going to be bulletin board material for the Mets, but I actually kind of agree with him. He said that he
Did
wasn't
he
that
lie?
impressed with the Mets. I mean, now I'm not going to say I wasn't impressed with them because they're good. I'm not going to say that, but
I was impressed with the pitching.
yeah, with the pitching, but he was like, for as the hits, it was a lot of. If you watched all the games, it was a lot of bloops. It was, a lot of,
Like he said, it was a bunch of weird shit, bro.
yeah. So I like that coming from Strider. I like the confidence, and in his team that, hey, he said we'll see where they at in October. So I like that.
And I was in a couple of groups looking, and somebody posted it, and it's fans that actually was like, rookies just need to shut up and pitch.
No, I like it.
Yeah, like listen, man. Uh, this dude throw a 101-mile-per-hour fastball. He can say whatever he want to say.
Yeah,
Like we've seen him back up, anything. So like he's earned the right to say something. Now, if he came out there just wild and I'd be like, oh, hold on, dog, you need to chill. But what he actually said was actually true.
it was.
It's not like he was just coming out there with this false bravado, talking crazy and reckless. A lot of weird stuff happened. Like you
It
said, the
did.
bloops, broken bats, bad calls, a
Yep.
lot of bad calls. They got a bunch of home cooking, you
Yep.
know. Like cut it out, y'all. The man spoke the truth, and I back him 100%.
I do too.
Well, who else we got? We got Yanoa. He was recalled from AAA, and Chadwick Trump. His contract was bought out from was purchased from Gwinnett because we saw in what was that, the Saturday game?
Yeah. I think it was
Darno,
Saturday's game. Mm-hmm.
he got the lower right leg injury bruise as he attempted to make a tag on DeGrom, which
Right.
by the way, that he was out.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
He was, bro. Oh, man, them umps had me damn near about to stroke out over here, bro.
Yeah, you and me both, man. I mean, mm,
Like it was terrible. But yeah, so those are the major moves that happened. Um, as always, remember Will Smith is gone, so you know. But yeah, so let's get into them games, man.
yep,
We had
tough weekend.
what do we have? 7 games last week.
Yeah, we had was it 5 against the Mets and two
Two
against
with
the
the
Phillies?
Phillies.
Yeah, two against
Yeah.
Phillies.
So we'll start with the Phillies. I think it was on a Tuesday.
Yep,
Braves won 13-1.
right.
Your boy Strider, he had a career high 13 Ks.
Cooking,
Cooking. He pitched 6 and 2/3, gave up one earned run,
right.
3 hits. And we saw Arcia and Ozuna both hit
Hmm.
home runs. And speak, Arcia he's showing a level of consistency, dog.
Yeah, he is. He really is.
Uh, both with the bat and in the field, man.
Hmm.
Don't get me wrong, I won't always back, but it's kind of reassuring to know we at least got somebody, you know, playing that position
Right,
that's not a liability. He's an asset more so than a liability.
right.
Unlike Gosselin was, but
Oh
he's
God.
gone too. Um, at when we started last week, we was 2.5 back. So Next game, we lost 3-1. Your boy Charlie Morton, he actually pitched well, 6 and 2/3, three
He
hits,
did.
no runs, one walk, 8 Ks. Team just couldn't hit.
Yeah, I think I texted you during the game, and I was like, we had a wasted effort from a good outing from Morton. Yeah, I did text you that because
Yeah,
I was like, he actually pitched a very good game, but
yeah. He just to get in the run support, man.
I don't know what it is about the closeout games with the Braves. You know, the last game of the series. I don't know what it is about it.
Well, whatever it is, they need to figure it out and figure it out fast. What else happened that game? Not too much. The team only had 5 hits.
Yeah, that.
Arcia hit a home run, back to back games with a home run for Arcia. You know, doing his thing. Now,
Oh boy.
and we played the Phillies 5 games before that,
Right.
and 3 game series. Like we've lost 3 of the last 4 to the Phillies, bro.
Yep.
And that's not good
No.
because we're in a position to where we can catch the Mets,
Mm-hmm.
and we're still worried about Philly catching us, right?
Especially bad as we were playing against Philly as well too
It,
this year. I don't know what the problem is with that.
exactly. And I was sitting there looking at it, and I'm like, at which point, at some point, they're gonna have to pick which route they're worried about. You know what I'm saying? Like at some point, if the Mets keep going and we playing
Right.
500 ball, or game over 500 ball, we got to worry about the Phillies.
Yeah.
You reside in the fact that you're not gonna win the East for the fifth straight year, sixth straight year, and worry about getting into the playoffs. So you gotta keep an eye on that, man. Especially when you lose three of the last 4 in the last 10 days.
Yep. And division losses count more than just loss to somebody else. So we really got to watch. I don't know what it is with the Phillies. It seems like we handle business against the Marlins, the Nationals. Of course, they outright tanking right now. But
Terrible,
I don't know what it is with the Phillies. But
terrible. We look like the Nationals this weekend.
phew, my gosh.
So get into the Mets, man. First game,
Mm,
we lose 6-4, and we honestly could have won that one.
yeah.
That that was terrible by Kyle Wright. Like he was uncharacteristically bad, dog.
He was. That's probably the worst outing I've seen this year from Cal Wright.
I know it's the worst one.
I think it
It,
is. Yeah,
it's
that
it's
is
it's
it.
it's not even debate, bro. He gave up 6 earned runs and 4 home runs. Like
Yeah.
like they was having t-ball practice on Cal, man. So
And like you said, we were still in the game where we could have, came back and won that game or whatever. So that that wasn't too bad. Hey, the Mets were at home, like they had the
right,
crowd on their side, it was rocking. So I understand that one. 6-4.
and I mean you had Arcia up the bat,
Mm-hmm.
and he got that last out. He wasn't even trying to swing.
Mm-mm.
So and there was 2 men on base. So I mean it could have easily went another way. And I really wasn't let down by that one
No.
because and I even text you like, well, we got our one loss out the way. Let's go
Right.
get these next 4. That ain't the case. Um, but yeah, so Harris had a good game again. He went 2 for 3, had a couple RBIs,
Right.
and Ronald Acuna hit a home run.
Yep.
He ended the second longest drought of his career. He hadn't hit a home run since I believe June 1st,
It's been a while.
or somewhere up in there. But he hit a home run. He had 2 RBI. So that was encouraging, man.
Right.
Um, move to the next game. We won the game 9-6, and we snapped the 2 game skid. We were the only team in the Major League Baseball who didn't lose 3 games in a row. And by us winning that second game against the Mets, we kept that going. It only lasted for 3 days, but we kept that going.
Eh,
Um,
yeah.
go ahead.
That's the game, man, where we talked about we need to go 4-1 in that series. Honestly, man, that's the game I really thought that if we was going to lose it, it would be that one. With Ian Anderson on the road on the mound. And let me be clear, by no means did he pitch great that game. He did not.
He was
But
terrible.
but that's the one game I actually thought we lose. But taking it 9-6, I'm like, okay, well, hey,
So
series evened up going into game three.
yeah, but and let me tell you why we didn't lose it, man. We didn't lose that game because of definitely because of pitching. Let's throw that out, get that out the
Right.
way. It was because of our outfield, right?
Mm-hmm.
All three starters in our outfield contributed in huge ways,
Yep.
right? Um, First of all, Ronald Acuna he went 4 for 5, had four
Mm-hmm.
singles. And in doing so, he got his 500th hit of his career. So, shout out to
Yeah,
Acuna. But back to that outfield. The outfield gave us a glimpse of what could really
they
be,
did.
dog. Rosario hit a home run. Acuna had 4 hits. Harris hit a home run. Then you saw the defensive plays from both Acuna and from Harris.
Right.
So and Rosario made a couple plays like that. So you know if you saw this game, if that was your first time watching the Braves, you probably said to yourself, "Man, they gotta have one of the top outfields in baseball." The way that they
Man.
look, both defensively and offensively.
And speaking of the outfield, Rosario has, I think he's turned the corner, man. He has 25 at bats
Stop,
over.
stop.
What?
We gonna talk about that.
Okay.
Rosario, you get let's get through these games first. We gonna get into because he's a part of the buy
Well,
or
look, you
sell
talked
as
about the
well.
outfield. You got me excited. So,
Yeah, yeah, we gonna get to that too.
bright
Uh,
spot.
but yeah, so and let's talk Anderson that game, right?
Oh,
He
yeah.
he he pitched 4 2/3. Bro, they spotted him an 8-run lead.
They did.
First 2 innings, he had an 8-run cushion, and we was all still scared.
I, mm,
Like we
um,
was literally talking on the phone, like, man, I still don't feel comfortable. Remember, I text you, bro. We got to get 3 more runs. We matter of fact, it was like 5-0. I text you like, man, if he ain't gonna stay in this game, man, we got to get 3 more
and
runs.
speaking of Ian Anderson, man, I've talked with other Braves fans, and some were kind of upset that he got optioned to AAA after he was a only winning pitcher in the series against the Mets. And I'm like, did you watch the game? Did you not see
Did
what
they
was
even
going
give him
on?
credit for that win? I don't think they did. Cause he only pitched 4 2/3. They might have did. I didn't even go back and check. I was just so disgusted by it. But
Yeah, but wow.
bruh, he gave up 4 runs, 7 hits, 4 walks, and 4 2/3. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And some people might see that and say, "Hey, he only had 4 runs." He'd have gave up 7 if it wasn't for Michael Harris
Yep.
and Ronald Acuna.
Yep. That's
And
that's very true.
yeah, because I think that the play Acuna made, I think it was one on base.
Yeah, it was.
It was one on base when he brought that home run back, and then it was 2 outs, bases loaded, and Michael Harris he he gunned down, that run that was about to go on to
That was
end that
another
inning.
run, and the ending was gonna keep going. So
Yeah, yeah, it was gonna keep going, man. And you look at Ian's face in that inning, man. He just looked shook, man. His eyes,
he
he
did.
looked shook. And I honestly believe that game was the deciding factor. Like, you know what? We
Yeah,
got to sit him. He
yeah,
looked spooked, dog.
he did. He really did.
And honestly, I felt bad for him.
Yeah.
I really did. I told him like, man, I hate the way he looked right now.
Yep. You did say that.
I really hate the way he looked. And you saw he couldn't get people out. He started walking people. It was just he was melting down, and they had to pull him.
Yep.
But that was
Mm.
a win. and that's that's pretty much the end of the good news.
Yeah, do you want to go? Do you want to talk about the other three?
Well, yeah, we
Oh my gosh.
we can talk about it. Let me go back to that win real quick. It
Hmm.
was a debut of your boy Glacius.
Right.
He looked damn good.
He does.
He pitching. He gave him one hit and he K'd two people and he looked real good, really good.
Yes, he did.
You know, so long, Will. We good. We in good hands, baby. Like all state.
Man, Iglesias, he looked confident, man. He was finding
Oh
pitches. It was like he had the rapport already with with Contreras and the Darno back there, whatever. I mean, he was on point. And like I
yes,
remember I told you when we talked about the trade show, that was at episode 13. The
yeah,
trade, yeah, the trade show. We talked about the trade show, and I told you that Braves have options now. If Jansen's only signed through this year,
yep.
you have a closer that
You got to
has
close.
what 17 saves with the Angels
Yep.
before that. So you got options. Plus, like you said, you basically essentially got two closers now, and that's the move I was most excited about.
Yeah, and he's under team control too.
Yes, he is.
So you ain't paying a whole bunch of money for him either. So next game we had the doubleheader. Lost the first one 8-5. That was the debut of Jake Odorizzi.
Yep,
He went 4 2/3, gave us 6 hits, 2 runs, three walks. That was also the debut of Grossman,
yep.
Robbie Grossman. He had RBI. Went 1 for 4, and to see him contribute. And Odorizzi wasn't that bad.
No,
He
he
wasn't. He
wasn't.
wasn't bad. So to kind of see that take shape against the Mets, it was a good to see.
Yep,
People they traded for looking somewhat productive,
right.
but um, they had to pull him as well. But I think once he settles in and get acclimated,
Yeah,
I think he'll be okay as well.
yeah. And you were saying he's never pitched at Met Stadium before, never really faced the Mets. So, that's kind of I think he'll be okay. That's getting familiar with the catchers and all that. But I like the move. I think he'll be okay. Plus, with Anderson going down, we can see what he can do if he can stick in the rotation or not.
Right. Because I think Ian gonna be sitting for a couple weeks at least.
Yeah, I
Get
think so
two. I
too.
think he gonna get 2 or 3 starts, 2 or 3 to see where he at.
Right.
So game two, you had Braves struck out 12 times, dog. You had Scherzer on the mound,
Oof.
and last year when the Mets gave Scherzer that $130 million record
Hmm.
deal, everybody, a lot of people talk crazy about it. He wasn't
They
worth it, so on
did,
and so forth. Bro, he looked every bit worth it at 130 million,
and then some.
and then some. Like I'm not gonna even lie to you, dog. He looked every bit worth every penny.
He couldn't
Um,
do nothing.
Nothing. He went with seven scoreless,
Hmm.
uh, 11 Ks.
Right.
Like he was untouchable, man. Untouchable. We was just horrible.
That's the
There,
only
there's
way to
no
put it.
Yeah, there's no way around it, man. We was just horrible. We lost 6-2,
Hmm.
and that was another game marked by a bunch of bad calls,
Yep.
terrible calls. Like I think every ump involved in that series should be fired.
Yeah, they definitely had the attention of the home crowd. That's for sure.
Yeah, man, they was ugh,
And,
it was
and that's
horrible.
not sour grapes from the Braves losing or nothing. I mean,
Nah,
that's
but
I
because
mean,
they made bad calls, a couple against the Mets.
yeah, that was you're right. That's probably one of the worst officiated series I've seen this year so far.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still mad, so it's a little sour grapes for me. Fuck it, I'm not gonna lie. But the final game, um, we lost 5-2. They struck out 19 times, man.
Mm.
19. 19 times, only had two hits, two runs. And your boy Dansby was responsible for that with the two run jack. But
That was the
it was,
return of Jacob DeGrom.
yeah. The Grum came in, mopped him. Like, bro, that was horrible.
They got a serious 1-2 punch.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
They-
And speaking of their rotation, man, and to be honest with you, we talked about Ian Anderson was fortunate to get away. Well, I don't know if he got the win or not, but he was fortunate to get out of there without a loss. But their pitcher was just as bad.
yeah,
To one, what's his name? To one Walker, I think it was.
Taiwan Walk. Yeah, he was.
Oh gosh, he might have
Yeah,
been worse than Ian Anderson.
yeah. That brother got he got work too. They
But the
worked him
Met,
early and
they
often.
did. But the Mets pitching staff, man, they pretty deep. You got Carrasco that comes in, and now the first two. You think about a playoff series. What if the first round is 3 out of 5? So think about matching up against the Mets with Scherzer and Degrom as the first two.
Right,
And if the Mets finish in first place, they'll be hosting.
right.
So
So you got to deal with them two in
mm-mm,
Shay.
mm-mm,
Yeah,
that's not good.
it's not good at all. And our boy Spencer, God bless him. He went 2 2/3, four earned runs, 5 Ks. He just ain't have it.
He showed some fire though. He's normally a quiet, look like mild mannered type guy, but I saw him get upset a few times. Couple of
Yeah,
plays that was missed in the outfield, and yeah, so I was glad to see that from him. But yeah, he just didn't have it.
yeah. You know, he did, man. But nobody had it.
No.
I, outside really of that second game, nobody had it. None of the pitchers, none of the offense. Like it was just bad, dog.
Yep.
Because you look at it, in that 5 game series, I want to say we struck out 70 times,
Phew.
damn near. Because you had 19 in game 5, 12 in game 6, 10 in game no tw- 12 in game 4, 10 in game 3, and I didn't even count the first two. But yeah, it was a really high number. Like they had our number, dog. Except
They did.
Taiwan. Hopefully he pitch again next week when we see him. They need a confidence builder against the Mets, boy, because DeGrom and Scherzer didn't didn't come to play. And
Mm-mm.
and that though was the difference though.
Yep.
Um, that was the pitching, because you look at that entire series. Out of the 5 games, we had one quality start. One. That was Max Fried, of course. Everybody else, nothing. I
Boy,
think
boy, boy.
um I think Kyle Wright was the only one other than Max to go at least 6 innings. But
Yeah.
he gave up, 47 and a half runs.
Yeah.
So it didn't really matter, how many innings he went.
They're
So
playing T-ball against him.
yeah, they was teeing it up, man. And that made the difference, dog. And I say this all the time on his, man. I talk
Mm-hmm.
about quality starts, quality starts. Like we got to get more quality starts
We do.
the rest of this season, man, or our bullpen won't be worth anything.
No.
All of these 2 2/3, 4 1/3, 4 2/3. Like, let's see, who you had out of the 5 games, you had three pitchers who went less than 5 innings.
Mm,
Three. You can't win with that, man.
no,
That's just
no.
that's
You
just what it
ideally
is.
want at
So
least 6 innings out of your starting pitcher, at least.
at least, hopefully we'll get it, man. But you know, this was a rough week.
It was.
This was a rough week. We went 2-5,
Yep,
2-5.
yep.
And we are now sitting 6.5 back of the Mets, whereas we started at 2.5
Mm-hmm.
back. So you know, their destiny was in their hands. They could have taken a huge jump, and we'd have only been down a half game.
Right.
But hey, it is what it is, man. But yeah, man. So we didn't have a lot of good news this
Nope.
week. Uh, we didn't have a lot of home runs, but let's look at the ones we did have. Who
It's amazing.
Swing, fly ball, launch left center field. That ball's not coming back.
he's so
They
inconsistent.
hold on as this ball is
So inconsistent.
launched deep left. Schwarber will say, see ya. As the 1-2 is hit high in the air, left center field, pretty deep. Schwarber Orlando tie. A
Yeah,
two
lit.
strike, 2-out
Yeah,
moonshot.
man.
Fly ball will
There
hit
you
center.
go.
Nimmo going back at 408 at the wall. It's gone.
That's so much
Big
power.
home run.
Oh man,
Driven toward
hey, he
right.
dangerous.
Marte in the corner is going to turn and watch that ball go. William Contreras with a two-strike, two-out homer. Driven in the
Oh,
air,
Dansby.
field and deep. Nimmo going back, track wall. It's gone. Dansby Swanson.
DeGrom had a no hitter going through in that game for 5 2/3 innings, man. Like we
I thought
can't
he was
win
gonna
like
get it. Actually.
man. We cannot win like
Mm-mm.
that at
No.
all, man. But yeah, man. So we kind of talked about a couple things, couple people, few people, you know, throughout the week and moves made. And
Right.
I had to stop you a couple times, man, because they all a part of our buy or sell. So let's get off into that.
Buy or sell.
I'm at 35 down 40, 40, now 5 at a down, bear down 45, 45 at a down, bear down 50, I'm at 45 at a down, bear down 50, sold for.
So who do I want to start with? You know what? I'm gonna start with old boy Ian. Let's let's
Mm,
let's get him on out the way.
mm.
Like Snick and AA did. Let's get him out the way. Buy or sell. Ian to Gwinnett needed to happen.
Easiest
I'm
buy
gonna
sale
put it
you've
up there.
had all year. Yeah, buy. We talked about this before a couple of episodes ago. It was time. I mean, like you say, it's not a permanent demotion or anything. I expect him to be back within a couple of weeks, so maybe a little longer, but it needs to happen. Somewhere his confidence has left him. I mean, if you watched him pitch, man, his location is terrible.
Yes,
he
yes,
it's awful. I mean, he can't even locate the pitches, and like you said, the one thing is he looks shook. His demeanor is off. He doesn't look
yes,
like the calm, cool, collective Ian Anderson that we used to seeing. And like you said, it happens. It happens to some of the best pitchers around. So, hey, go back to the AAA, get your confidence, get your mojo back, and come back and let's go win this second title.
yeah. Listen. I'm buying that as well.
Yeah,
I'm buying it. And I'm paying cash for it. I ain't
yeah.
charging that paying cash for it.
I don't need the receipt. You can
Yeah,
throw it
don't
away.
don't need a receipt, throw it away. Like, yeah, man, he needed to go. Um, like you said, his confidence is shook. He having
Mm-hmm.
location. GPS couldn't help him find the strike zone. Google Maps could not help him find the
Wow.
strike zone. And I ain't hating, I ain't trying to be mean and that man, but we saw it. Okay,
I
we
hate it.
saw with
Yeah.
our own two eyes, or I wear glasses, so all four of my eyes saw what he was doing.
Mine too.
Look, man, the dude had a 5.11 ERA through 21 starts. He's leading the majors in walks, bro.
Yep.
His confidence is shook. He got spotted at 8-0 lead and almost gave it away. If it wasn't for Acuna and Harris,
Yep.
it would have been a lot worse. So
Yep.
so yeah, man. We I'm again, we both buying that.
Yeah. That like I said, that's probably the easiest one you done.
Yeah, that was like who was that? Staples, too easy.
Yeah.
Up next, buy or sell. We should be worried about Travis Darno getting hurt.
I'm selling it. I don't think so because I think we're in good hands with Contreras, and then you got the guy Toonk that just came up. He showed a lot of promise down in the minors, so I'm gonna sell it. I think we'll be fine with Contreras. Plus, he gets to show off his bat. He does play some DH from time to time, but make no mistake, we will need Darno come postseason run. But I think we fine. I don't think it's a major injury or anything, so I believe we'll be fine. So I'm selling that one
So, yeah, I agree. I'm selling it for now.
for now.
I'm
Ooh,
selling it.
please explain.
I'm selling it for now because we don't know, right?
True.
He was spotted in a walking boot. They
Mm,
said that he should be back by next weekend.
mm,
So if that's the case, then no, we shouldn't be worried because, like you said, we got Contreras, Trump. He'll spell Contreras here and there,
mm-hmm.
for a game or so. But when you look at it right now, we should not be worried
Yeah.
because we don't know how bad off he is.
Right.
Now, if it comes back that lower leg injury is something that's going to put him on the DL for
Mm-hmm.
30. If it's 30 days or more, we should be worried, right?
Yeah.
Uh, if,
I agree with you on that.
if it's just a stint for 10 days or whatever, then nah, we shouldn't be worried. So I'm selling it for now. I'm gonna need my receipt. Well, I don't need a receipt because I ain't buying it. So yeah, I'm definitely selling that.
Yeah.
All right, up next, Ronald Acuna Jr. has gotten back on track.
Bye. I was
Okay.
wary of it, but I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it because he's slowly starting to put together some great defensive plays, like the one you mentioned, the safety and Anderson, and his bat has came back to life. And he looked like the old Ronald again. When he caught, did you see him when he caught that Rob the guy to homer? How he was beating his chest and jumped. That's the old Ronald I remember. So, and plus he did it at the big stage this weekend against the Mets.
Yes.
So I'm going to buy it.
Yes. So I'm buying it too.
Yeah.
I'm buying it as well. Um, what really sold me on it was that catch he made. Like he jumped up out the gym.
He
Like
did.
he looked like his usual old athletic self
Mm-hmm.
who makes plays outfield.
Right.
You know, so that was good to see.
Mm-hmm.
That made me feel like, hey, he's over that ACL.
Yep.
He's over the fear of maybe hurting himself again.
I agree.
Um, and like you said, it was against the Mets, so he went all he was really on the bright spot this series, right? Um, his last 7 games, he's hitting 360 with a home run, 5 RBI,
Mm-hmm.
9 or 10 hits, couple stolen bases.
Yep.
Like he's on the up again, and yeah, I'm definitely buying it. Um, he looks apart both offensively and defensively. Then he got his 500 hit.
Yep.
Uh, you know, that probably amp him up. He want to hit, get to his next milestone of 1,000. So yeah, man, I'm definitely buying that.
Yes, sir.
Let's see, last one. you gonna like this one. Buy or sell. Eddie Snake Eyes Rosario has also gotten on track.
Confidently, yes, I'm going to buy it. Finally, I'm going to confidently buy it. Over his last 7, he had 25 at bats. He only had 6 hits, but he made the most of them, man. He had 9 RBIs and 11 total bases in that span against the Phillies and the Mets. He was also another bright spot out there for the Braves, consistent and, believe it or not, Eddie Rosario. But yeah, I'm buying it. He's back on track.
Yeah, always. I mean, like you said, over his last 7 games, he hitting 240, which was damn near 3 times what he was hitting.
It was
when he left. So I can't buy it, dog.
Whoa, you're not gonna buy Eddie?
I can't fully buy it. I'm not gonna fully sell it. Let me put something on it to the first. I'm gonna put it on layaway right now.
Oh, you going back to layaway?
Yeah, like Walmart and Service Merchandise and them.
One of them Kmart blue light special.
Blue light special. The blue light special at Kmart. I'm gonna put this on layaway. So let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Before the Mets series, if anybody would have asked me this question before they played against the Mets, I would have bought it wholeheartedly, right? Before the Mets, 10 games before the Mets series, he was hitting 344.
Yeah.
He had a double, triple, home runs, 7 ribbies, playing defense.
Yeah, he was.
Before the Mets. Got to the Mets. And just like everybody else, he didn't do much of anything.
That's true.
And my thing is, because he came up so big in pressure situations last season, in the playoffs, on the road, it didn't matter where he was at, Buddy was doing his thing.
He was. He really was.
You got him. Now you up in New York, and you are the full-time left fielder now.
Yep.
Make no mistake. Duvall's out. So he didn't come through like I think I wanted him to. But because everybody else was just so terrible, I'm not just gonna heavily tax him and him only. So that's why I said I'ma just lay away on it.
Okay. I can see that.
So, we'll see how I go with old Eddie, man.
I can see that.
But, it's a lot better than what we was getting before the LASIK.
Man.
So before, he got his eyes fixed and all of that. So I'm happy to see that. Because you know me, doing that first 33 games, whatever it was, I wanted him out of here.
Yeah, I remember. You and probably the rest of the Braves country.
Yeah, it was terrible, dog. Just terrible. But yeah, man. That was the 3 of the 4 was good. That first one was a slam dunk.
Yep.
It was that first one with Ian was a no-brainer. But yeah, man. So, but before we hop off into the quick preview of next week's games, well, this week's, which is
Red Sox right now.
Red Sox. They playing right now as we speak. Red Sox and the Florida Marlins. This last week, man, we had some pretty good defensive plays being made. We talked about 2 of them. 2 of them have, 2 of the best happened in one game. Matter of fact, Ronald Acuna got Player of the Week, MLB Player of the Week for that home run rob he did. But we got our own plays of the week, so let's check that out. Up first, at number 3, it's the Mets. Look at what I said.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
And the Braves can't turn it. Nimmo flying down the line.
That was a bad call. You see that?
Yeah, it was.
But they overturned it though. But
Some great concentration by
umps are terrible, dog.
That
Just
was out
terrible.
from the beginning.
Yeah, look at this.
That was an out. I don't know what he was looking at.
I don't know. Like it wasn't even close. Number two. The,
Couldn't have
yeah.
ball. Wow.
Hey, Michael Harris, I'm telling you, his defense is going to land him at Rookie of the Year, man. Because I mean,
Yeah.
he keeps swinging how he's swinging, but when you constantly making big plays and you on the highlights and you making national, media for your defense and you swinging the stick,
Yeah.
bro. Especially when you got Strider going 2 2/3 getting rocked, in a big series, that didn't help him at all.
Speaking of which, said we just mentioned the Braves are playing right now as we speak, as we're recording, and Charlie Morton gave up a home run, and Red Sox took the lead 5-4. Your boy Harris that you just talked about just hit a double, tied up the game.
See what I'm saying? The boy's a
11 double
natural,
of the
man.
season. So right on cue. Matter of fact, when you were talking about him, he just hit the double, knocked in Arcia. so, so I said, wow. I said,
Hey,
TK be on to it.
I'm telling you, man. I think he's gonna have a 2020 season, 20 home runs, 20 doubles. He gonna have a 20-20-20. He gonna have 20 stolen bases. I'm telling you, man. Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I'm with you. I know a couple of episodes back on the awards episode, we talked about Strider was ahead of him, but
Yeah, he
yeah,
was.
I think it's my boy now. I think I think it's Harris now.
Yeah, but and because Strider's going every 5 days.
Right.
Um, and he had a big game, like he had the 13 Ks
Mm-hmm.
um earlier, but then against the Mets, like big games matter.
Yeah,
And this was this like that second game we won. It felt like a playoff game, right?
it did.
This series felt like playoff baseball. For about 9 innings out of all of them
Yep.
for us. But on the big stage like that, you got to come through it. And him going, like I said, going at 2 2/3, that didn't help his case.
No.
But yeah, man, I do think Harris is going the way he going keep it up. I hope he keep it up, stay healthy, and he
Yes.
probably gonna win Rookie of the Year. So we got the Red Sox right now, and we got the Marlins following them.
Mm-hmm.
So what you thinking, man? Tell me what you thinking on this.
As everybody know what I always say, man, we got to win series. Win series. Red
Right.
Sox are not contenders this year. The Marlins aren't contenders this year. That series you got to win. A sweep would be nice, but if it's a 3-game series, you got to take 2 out of 3. If it's 4-game series, 3 out of 4. I mean, that's just what you got to do, especially with the Mets coming up. And right now, next week, then the Mets now got the Reds, who they've been handling and so forth. So,
Yes.
and they have a kind of a soft part of the schedule, so we can't afford to fall back any further, especially teams that we should beat. Now,
Yes.
the old saying on any given day anybody can be beat, which is
Right.
true, but teams that you should beat, you need to beat. And that's just it.
Honestly, man, they need to sweep both of them.
I agree.
Like they need to handle both these teams to boost their confidence going into that series with the Mets.
I agree.
Like they can't afford to go in messing with the Mets with their shoulder slump, their heads down. Like they need to handle Boston. They need to handle the Marlins, and they need to do it decisively. So
Yeah.
they playing 6 games. Anything less than 5-1, I'm gonna be disappointed with.
Yeah, because we don't want to get too far out, but you got 2 against the Red Sox that you should win both of those.
Right.
You got 4 coming up against the Marlins. I mean, 3 out of 4 at the least. I mean, at the least. I get the Marlins 1 maybe because we're in Miami on that one, but 3 out of 4 at least. Then after that, like I said, we don't want to look too far ahead, but just for, purposes of how important these next 6 games are, you got 4 against the Mets, then you got 3 against the Astros.
Exactly.
you cannot falter before you get to those 7 games.
Exactly. Like you, again, it for me, it goes to the confidence issues. Um, you don't, you
Mhm.
the Mets whoop your ass.
They did.
I hate to say it like that, but the Mets whipped y'all from pillar to post, right?
They sure did.
So you get mad, you take that out on Boston, you take that out on Miami, and then you come back home and you be ready to go against the Mets, and you whoop them 4 games.
Right.
That's what we need to happen. We definitely
Yep.
don't need to lose tonight and lose 4 in a row,
Phew.
because now it changes your train of thought. Now you pressing, now you worrying. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So we definitely don't need that, man. So
No. And we will see Walker in game 2 of the Mets series next week.
hopefully it's like T-ball practice. like like I'm not going. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like we really we really need this. We really
Yep.
need this. And if you look at us this year, man, like we played Boston in 2 games already. We split the
Right.
first. We split the first one. Miami, we're 5-4 against them.
Mm.
So, and those were earlier in the year before
Yeah.
the team got their footing and their bearings, and all of that. So we need to beat them, plain and simple.
That's it. I
You
mean,
know, no splits, no close games. Whoop them, cook them, and move on.
and be done with it. You're right.
So yeah, man, give me your prediction. What you got?
For the next, we're gonna say the next 6. We got one playing now that can go either way. So I'm gonna say, God, man, I'm gonna say the Braves hold on to win this one, or take the lead in this one. They're gonna sweep the Red Sox. They win 3 out of 4. So I'm gonna say we got one loss coming out of these games.
I'm the same way. I think we're gonna go five
I'm
and
giving
one.
the Marlins one.
I'm I think we're gonna go 5-1. We need to go no lower than 5-1. I hope it's
No
6-0.
lower.
I hope it's 6-0, but we'll see, man.
Mm.
But hey, man, as always, man, it's been a good little show, man.
It have, man, have.
We
Very interesting.
in considering how bad we got whooped, man, I really didn't even want to talk about it this week.
I know, right? I came on there kind of like, oh my gosh, we gotta talk about this
Well, yeah,
next.
man. So when the Mets give you lemons, you make lemonade and
Right.
you put vodka in it. Um, yeah. So it was a good week, man. Any parting words for the people?
Just continue to listen to the show, man. Leave a comment or whatever. Suggestion or anything you want us to talk about or review. Which I've been getting some feedback, so I appreciate that. And everybody's watching, because as soon as we upload the show, we get more and more viewers every week, and that's what we want. So
Oh yeah, we want to be your go-to source for everything Braves.
yes, sir.
Yeah, I agree. So for me, man, I just celebrated my 44th birthday.
I saw.
Um,
Happy birthday,
yeah, man. Wife got me a new Braves jersey, so I'm feeling that. Um,
New Digs.
yeah, man. I'm getting another year older, another year wiser, another year closer to retirement. Way I look at
Right.
it. So yeah, man. It was a good week for me. Bad week for the team. Um,
Mm.
but I just wanted to tell Braves Nation, hey man, we can't win them all. Continue to support the team.
Yeah.
Um, at this time last year, we was 55-55 or something crazy like that.
Yep.
You
And they
know,
went on that tear.
went on that tear. So we've seen worse. It's only up from here for us, in my opinion. So keep supporting y'all.
Yeah.
Speaking of supporting the Braves, keep supporting us. Like,
Please
shares,
do.
and follows are definitely appreciated. And that's what I got, man. So on behalf of the Chop Shop Podcast, myself, TK, my partner, Mr. Jermaine JP Powell, we thank you guys for tuning in to episode number 14. And we look forward to seeing you guys next week. And as always, Let's go Braves.